Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm VelvettB, and today we have a speed build. This is what we're building, and I had a lot of fun building this. This is actually for a collaboration that I got to take part in, run by the fabulous Nasina. Thank you very much for hosting this collab. This is the Newcrest Country collab, and so this is like a whole rebuild of the Newcrest area. And I took on one of the 20 by 15 lots. I'm going to say Comfy Cubby, but it could be the other one. It's one of the two. One of the two right at the top. So I did like a little starter home, which is really cool. Now, the whole vibe that we were going for with this particular collaboration is kind of like ranch, countryside kind of style. So I brought in like a little bit of horse ranch into this build. That was kind of the vibe I was going for. Just thinking like horse ranch, but not like super ranchy, if that makes sense. So yeah, I got creative with this one. I did have an inspiration for this build. So my buddy Nocturnally Nix and I kind of, because she was doing the other starter home lot, so she kind of did the reverse of what I did, if that makes sense. So yeah, so she had like an inspiration, and then I built first. So built to the inspiration, and then she sort of flipped it around and did the opposite. So hopefully she puts that up on her channel, formerly the Obsessed Simmer. She's now Nocturnally Nix, and you guys can check out what she did as well, because it looked really cute from the pictures I saw. So yeah, so we kind of did like twin starters, and there is just so many amazing builds in this collaboration. So if you haven't checked it out, check out the Newcrest Countryside collaboration. All these fabulous houses and the sort of countryside, sort of rustic kind of vibe. Yeah, if you need some houses for Newcrest, I feel like Newcrest, I think these would be amazing. Okay, so how are we coming along? So obviously I am working on a budget, but I was not working to any pack restrictions, which does make working on a budget significantly easier, because if you're working to sort of the pack restrictions, particularly if it's something like base game, a lot of the items in base game are quite expensive. So it is entirely easier if you have access to things like Eco Lifestyle and Horse Ranch, which actually are packs that have some really good cheap items, to actually get a lot into a starter home. So I think I ended up coming in at around just over 20,000. So I think it was like about 20,300 for this house total. So that's not too bad for a starter home, considering everything that I got in here. It's going to be 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. I did use debug for the landscaping, because if I'm doing a starter home, I'm using debug for the landscaping. Otherwise, there would be no landscaping, because landscaping stuff is so expensive, like so expensive. I can just do like a little garden thing, and I've probably spent a good quarter of the budget easy, just with the way I landscape, because I like pile up plants and that sort of thing, and like the tall cypress trees and stuff. I mean, they're like what, 175 each. Oh yeah, no. Anyway, debug for the landscaping, because yeah, I will always debug with starter homes with the landscaping, just so that you can have something. Otherwise they just look really boring and like starter homes. And it's quite nice to not have like starter homes that look like starter homes, if you know what I mean. That look, just that little touch nicer. It's a nice start for a Sims life. So I was just replacing the paving that I put around the front, because I was like, oh, hang on, it's a starter home. That's just like an unnecessary expense. And replaced it with terrain paint, because pavers cost money. Terrain paint, no money. So, that makes sense. Those are just the little decisions you have to make when you are building a starter home and trying to save, just a little bit of cash. Okay, so we are pretty much done with the outside. I did leave a few little areas just to be looked at once I'd finished the interior, because sometimes like things like barbecues and stuff like that, not always the most affordable things when you are doing a starter home, and yeah, you don't always have that spare cash. But we'll come back to the outside once we are done with the inside. and just do like the little tiny finishing touches. So on the interior, I'm just working out the floor plan. So I ended up changing the door around so the door came in the side. That made sense to me as I was doing it because it was just because of the way that there's like a little indent there by the door, and I was like, you know what, that actually makes a natural entrance area rather than have it come in on that front angle. So that's why I changed that. And as you can see there, we've got the 1 bedroom and the 1 bathroom taking shape, and then it's going to be open flow for the living room, the kitchen and the dining. So as I said, because I'm not limiting to packs, I can use not base game for a lot of stuff and just like go the cheapest items, but they still look much better than some of the base game cheapest items, if that makes sense, and you're still saving money. So, you know, things like curtains, like if I was doing a base game starter home, I would be lucky to be able to afford curtains and anything more than the most ugliest basic of beds. So, you know, I got a heck of a lot in. So with the kitchen, I actually just kind of placed bits and pieces and then kind of left it to go back to. As I got the rest of the items in, I had an idea of how much money I would have, so I can go back and replace some of the scodier or yuckier kind of stuff and put in some nicer bits and pieces so that, you know, I could sort of upgrade and make the place look a little bit nicer, you know. And I was just sort of still coming together with the colour theme. So I put in the bed, and then it sort of came to me that, you know what, I'm going to just, you know, add sort of like light browns and yellows and, you know, just really cool, almost like spring-like colours. But I don't know, I have this weird thing in my head. I don't know why. Maybe because it's like a base game kind of starter area, but I always feel like Newcrest, I think of Newcrest as a spring area, and I don't know why. Maybe because I'm just thinking, you know, you start a new game, and like back in the day before there was so many packs and stuff, you might like go into Newcrest, and you generally start in spring, right? That's probably the most common starting month, spring. So maybe that's the association for me. I don't know, but that's just in my head. I'm just thinking Newcrest. I'm thinking the pink trees and flower and bloom in spring. Anyway. I've gotten distracted. So I'm into the bedroom, just adding some accessories. Like there's a dresser and there's like clutter on the dresser. I mean, normally I cannot afford this sort of stuff with a base game starter home. And we've got like a computer, we've got a TV. So this is a really good starter home for 20k. And you've got all these little bits and pieces. You've got like a bookcase for your skills up. I did like forget to go back and like touch up the bathroom a little bit, but I was like sitting at 20,300 and I didn't really want to get rid of a whole lot of stuff. I've even got like a little bit of an entrance area, you know, there's like a table and a mirror, and I'm going to put like flowers on there. So it's like, you know, very welcoming when you come in the door, very pretty. And it's like, ooh, this home. And so this is me going back because my budget is looking pretty good at this stage, and being able to upgrade to some really nice stuff. I do end up getting rid of that TV unit combo from Tiny Home Stuff Pack because that is over 2,000 simoleons, and it was just a little bit too much for a TV and a stereo. So ended up nixing that, but it did mean like getting rid of that and going for a cheaper option for TV. I mean, I could put like a barbecue and bits and pieces in that I wasn't otherwise going to be able to afford. So it was, I think, a good decision. For a starter house, a 2,000 simoleon TV is, yeah. It's a bit of an ask. So I actually managed to get in a little bit of clutter in the kitchen as well. Like, it's not the biggest of kitchens. It's sort of like a sink and oven, a fridge and one counter to, you know, make stuff on in a rubbish bin, and you've got like a small dining table, but it isn't only a 1 bedroom place, so you're only really going to have a couple in here, or one sim in here, so they don't need that much space, and it is a starter home. This is where you begin and, you know, kick off from, basically. So this is the sort of the last touches on the outside with the last little few dollars that I had. So I'm just putting in like a barbecue in, a seat, a little bit more landscaping I decided to do just to fill up the last of the space, and we're done. So let's take a tour of what we did. So this is the exterior. As I said, I was going for sort of home style, ranchy, rustic, Not too rustic though, just sort of like modern rustic, if that makes sense. Like a modern ranch house style is kind of the vibe I was going for. That's the word I was trying to find. So I think that I achieved that. Like the stone and the clapboard look really nice together. Like it's a modern look, but you can sort of get the rusticy vibe because I used sort of those rustic tiles on the roof. And you sort of got that rougher wood in the columns and stuff as well. So that I used around the front entrance. I think you kind of get the vibe. I feel like I achieved the vibe there anyway. So I'm really happy with that. So on the interior, I did sort of touches of yellows and browns. And once again, just sticking to that countryside vibe. So using a lot of the horse ranch stuff. Although I did use Snowy Escape for the fridge and the oven. So then, you know, the fancy fridge and oven for a starter home, gotta say. So lucky since. And then pretty basic bathroom. I really didn't have the money to do much more in there. And then, you know what, the bedroom's pretty good. I was pretty happy with the bedroom because it's like a bookcase, computer, it's got a dresser, it's got clutter. I mean, it's a pretty complete bedroom. And all those touches of yellow I think are lovely as well. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the other builds in this collaboration, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.